Good morning, good morning. So we're going to be using this ball today to just help to give us some feedback and also to help recruit different muscles with the exercises. So with the mat work, it can really change the exercise up to use this. This also provides a wobble factor. So when you're using a ball or something that makes you have to stabilize a little bit more, it really helps to recruit your stabilizers. So we really like to use this ball to do that. So we're going to do that today. We're going to start on the mat, laying down supine. I'm just going to put the ball between my knees for right now. And we're going to start with breathing. Okay, so hopefully you can see me okay. I'm going to adjust my screen a little bit. It looks like I'm a little high there. I want you to actually be able to see me today. Ta-da. Okay, here we go. All between the knees. We're going to start with some breathing here. So head is down on the mat. If you need something under your head, you're just going to place something there for yourself. Hands on the rib cage here. I'm feeling all my points of my body. So I feel my sacrum heavy on the mat. I feel my shoulder blades, right? Both of them evenly weighted, and the crown of my head and my feet. So I'm going to take a big inhale, feel my rib cage expand into my hands. So to the front, to the side, and to the back. We call that a three-directional or three-dimensional breath. So nice big inhale through your nose. And then when you exhale, you're going to feel the rib cage close down and in. Okay, so we're just going to keep going with this breath. And I want you to focus on relaxing through your shoulders, relaxing your neck and your forehead and your face. Just not tensing up as you're breathing, okay? Because we really want that breath to go into the lower lobes of the lungs so that we get a really good oxygen exchange. Okay, when we exhale, that's when we want to recruit the stabilizers of the spine. But since we're laying down on the mat, we have a lot of support, so you don't really have to brace your spine compared to when you're on your hands and knees, okay? And we'll go over that when we do exercises on our hands and knees. But here, you just have to know that you need to stabilize enough just to keep your body stable, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. So here, we're just going to rock our pelvis back into that posterior pelvic tilt for some pelvic rocking here. So you're going into your anterior pelvic tilt, posterior pelvic tilt. I don't think I have to explain that too much anymore. We've gone over it lots of times. So just going back and forth, just warming up, feeling your back, maybe stretch, maybe feeling your abs stretch out, and then finding that place in between because we want to have that nice neutral position here, okay? Neutral is where we want to be especially when our feet are down, okay? It's the most shock absorbing position to be in. So when you're standing and getting around through life, neutral is really, that's it, okay? If you need extra support, that's when we imprint. So your imprint is a small movement. Without pressing into the feet, we're going to do it. You're going to just shorten your obliques and your rectus abs and bring your hip bones and your rib cage slightly closer together. You're not jamming your back down here or using your glutes or pressing into the mat with your feet. It's just your abs. So holding that imprint, hopefully you feel how you have a little bit more support for your spine, okay? So if you find throughout the workout, if you're not able to stabilize in neutral, you're going to go to your imprint, okay? So let's go back to neutral here. We're going to take the ball, place it underneath your left foot or your right, whichever. We're going to stabilize in neutral here because I have one foot down on the mat. I have more stability. If both my legs were in the air, I might want to be working in imprint if I needed to, okay? So both feet are down. I'm going to inhale here, exhale. I'm just going to send that leg away. Just 2 times, and then I'm going to bring it in again. And again, so I'm going to exhale, send that leg away. So I'm stretching out through my hip, and I'm pressing down with the ball so I get my glutes fired up. And then I bring it in. Okay, so just 2 like that. Now I'm going to send my knee out to the side for a hip release. So I'm going to send the knee out to the side, stabilize my pelvis, shoot my leg down the mat, turn it in, and then drag it up. Okay, I'm just going to do one more like that. I kind of have to shimmy with my foot, otherwise I'm going to lose the ball. So I'm going to send my knee out to the side, drag it down, turn it in, and bring it back up again. Okay, now I'm going to reverse that. So I'm going to have my left knee fall in towards my right. So I'm immediately rotating my femur here. Reach my leg away, turn out, drag it up and around. Okay, and one more like that. So just a hip release. Just 2 of each. So I'm going to switch over to the other side. So my right leg. Just going to send that out 2 times. 1 and 1 more here. Then I'm going to take my knee out to the side. So releasing the knee out to the side, stabilizing my pelvis, stretching my leg out, turn it in and drag it up. And again, that leg goes out to the side, stretch it down the mat, turn it in, drag it up, and I reverse that. So I'm just going to let that knee fall in towards the other, reach it away, turn it out, drag it up and around. And one more like that. So turn it in. So I'm stabilizing my pelvis, releasing my hip joint, and that's that. Okay, so I'm just going to take the ball, put it between my knees. I'm going to reach my arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to do some scap isolation. So when I say scap, I'm referring to the scapula. Also, that refers to the shoulder blades. Same thing, okay? So I'm just going to start with some protraction and retraction with both arms. So I'm going to inhale, reach my fingertips up towards the ceiling, allow my shoulder blades to come apart on my back, and then just relax back to neutral here. And do that one more time. So I'm going to reach up for some protraction. I'm relaxing my head and my neck, and then coming back to neutral here. I'm going to retract my scapula. So I'm gliding my shoulder blades closer together on my back, and then coming back to that neutral. I'm going again, so gliding them closer together, and then coming back to neutral. Okay, I'm going to do full range of motion here. So I'm going to protract, then I'm going to come through neutral and retract, and just do one more like that. And I'm going to protract, and then all the way into that retracted position, and then come back to neutral. Now I'm going to do one arm at a time, okay? So that left arm, I'm going to protract, and here I'm going to add a little bit of rotation. So I'm pressing my head down into the mat, and I'm twisting, and then I'm going to come back to center and bring my shoulder all the way into retraction. Same arm with my left arm again. So I'm going to go from that retracted position into protraction. Then I'm going to twist. I'm pressing my head down. So I'm just twisting my upper spine here. I'm going to come back to center and then bring it all the way into retraction. I'm going to do that again. So I'm reaching up towards the ceiling, pressing my head down, twisting, bringing it back and plugging that shoulder into neutral and then retracting. And one more like that. So take it all the way up into protraction. I'm twisting and reaching. So I'm really pulling that scapula. Then I'm coming back to neutral and then just stopping right here at that neutral position. We're going to do the other arm. So protracting with the right, then I'm twisting and I'm increasing that protraction. Then I'm coming back to center and then bringing that shoulder blade all the way into retraction, okay? Here I go again. So I'm protracting first, twisting, I'm pressing my head down into the mat here. Then I'm coming back to center, dropping that scapula down and then into retraction. And two more like that. So I'm reaching into that protraction. I'm twisting and increasing that protraction, pressing my head down. I come back to that center position, bring it all the way into retraction. And one more like that. I reach up, twist, I come back, and then just drop it into that neutral position only. Okay, so from here, we're going to do an ab prep, okay, and then we're going to take it into an ab prep hip rolls combo. Okay, so hands are right down by the side here. Just going to nod my chin, looking down towards my knees, but not really at my knees, and then I'm going to come up for that ab prep. So remember with the ab prep, we're not tucking the pelvis under here, right? We're staying neutral. We're going to hold, inhale, and exhale to come down. Let's just do 3 more like that. So we're going to nod the chin, flex up with the upper body. As I'm doing that, I'm pressing into the ball just to help recruit my inner thighs, okay? Then I'm coming back down and releasing the ball. 2 more. Inhale, nod the chin. Exhale, I come up. I'm also allowing my scapula to protract and elevate slightly with this movement. And then I come down just to help facilitate and nod my chin. That flexion. I hold right here, inhale, and exhale, and I come all the way down, okay? So from here, I'm going to just tuck my pelvis under into that imprint, and I'm gonna roll up to that hip rolls exercise here, engaging my glutes. I'm thinking energy out through my knees. I'm gonna hold, inhale. Exhale, soften through the chest and rib cage, and I'm gonna articulate the spine back down through imprint and finding neutral here, okay? Here I'm gonna go into my ab prep. So I'm gonna nod my chin, come up to the ab prep. I'm gonna grab the ball here, one hand under, one hand on top, roll back down. I'm just gonna hold the ball overhead as I'm gonna roll up with that hip rolls. engaging the glutes here. I'm softening the chest and rib cage, gently squeezing into that ball, coming back to neutral, and exhaling ab prep. I'm gonna put the ball back between my knees, squeeze them, come down. Then I'm gonna roll up for those hip rolls. So I'm rolling up, engaging my glutes here, finding that nice diagonal line. I'm gonna roll down, and do that ab prep, take the ball again. So switching my arms out as I do that, coming back, reaching the ball up towards the ceiling, rolling up, energy out through the knees here. Then I'm gonna roll back down. Then I'm gonna do an ab prep again. And we're gonna do one more set here, okay? Rolling down. I'm gonna roll up with that hip rolls. I'm gonna roll all the way down. And I'm gonna end with an ab prep right here. So just taking the ball, coming all the way down. All right, we're gonna come up, flip over onto our stomachs, otherwise known as that prone position. We're gonna put the ball between the ankles, okay? So you can either do it, I like to do it when I'm sidelining and then kind of flip over. Yep, or you can, you can get it back there anyhow, any way you can kind of think of doing it. Okay, so I'm just gonna be folding my hands here, placing my head down. And my knees are facing the edge of the mat here, and I'm in a slightly turned out position. My knees aren't bent a lot. It's just at about a 90-degree angle, so my feet are kind of pointing straight up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna inhale here to prepare. When I exhale, I'm gonna engage my glutes and think of pressing my hip bones and my pubic bone down into the mat. So here I go, and I'm engaging my glutes, pressing into that ball. Okay, this is one of the best ways to turn off your hip flexors and open the front of your hip, okay? So I really want you to think of doing that, of pressing your hips down into the ball, and then we're gonna release as we inhale, okay? And here we go again. So we're gonna inhale, exhale, squeeze into that ball, press your hips down into the mat, think of opening your hips here. Hold, inhale, and exhale to release, okay? Inhaling, exhaling to squeeze. Hold, inhale. Exhale to release. Just gonna do a couple more like that. Just get those glutes fired up a little bit. Inhale. Exhale and squeeze. So you may feel your glutes a lot or you may not, right? It just takes a little bit of time to get those warmed up sometimes. And then release. So the whole idea is to open the front of the hip here. Inhaling, and one more time, exhale, we squeeze that ball, right? Squeezing with the heels, engaging the glutes, pressing down into the mat with the hips. Oh, now I just felt my glutes kick in, especially my right glute, okay? So you wanna be thinking about what you're feeling and then releasing. Woo. All right, so let's just keep the ball between the ankles here. We're gonna stretch the legs out, bring the hands right down by the side. We're gonna do our breaststroke prep here. So inhaling, do a little reverse head nod. So it's just like you're pushing a marble away with your nose. Exhale, you're gonna come up, keeping your lowest rib down. So it's your upper spine only, not your lower spine, okay? We're gonna hold, inhale, exhale to come down, okay? And again, inhale with that reverse head nod. Exhale, we come up. So really important here that you're not hypermobilizing the neck or the lower back. We're gonna hold, inhale, exhale to come down. And just two more like that. So inhale, reverse head nod. Exhale to come up. Hold, inhale. I'm also squeezing into the ball. And exhale to come down. And one more time. So we inhale, reverse head nod. Exhale to come up. Lengthen through the crown of the head here. Hold, inhale. Exhale, come all the way down. Last breaststroke. So it's breaststroke prep number 3, hands under forehead. This is a little bit more mid-back work. So we're holding here. So I'm really pressing my ball with my feet, relaxing my shoulders down. Think of keeping my scapula nice and wide on my back. I'm gonna inhale to prepare. Exhale, I'm just gonna hover above the mat, just a few inches here. So I'm not causing any wrinkles in the back of my neck. I'm gonna hold, inhale, and exhale to come down. And again, so inhaling here, I'm pulling my abs in tight. I still want my abs on supporting me here. Inhale and exhale to come down. Let's do 3 more like that. Hopefully you feel your back working. Holding, inhale. Exhale, come up and hover. Pressing into that ball, hold, inhale. Exhale, come down. Let's do 2 more. Inhaling here. I'm thinking of lengthening the space between each vertebrae. Holding inhale. Exhale, come down. 1 more like that. And last one. Here we go. Exhale, come up. Holding here. And exhale to come down. Whew. Hopefully you feel warmed up all the way around the body. Okay, so we're gonna start with our ab prep with the ball underneath our feet. So laying back down onto the mat, I'm gonna switch sides. I kind of like to switch sides. I don't know, makes it more fun for me. So putting the ball, both feet on top of the ball here, and we're gonna start with the ball stretched out, just like so, and hands are gonna be behind the head, okay? And remember, so let's just do an ab prep here with the legs stretched out. So just like so, right? Here you wanna make sure you're actually supporting your head in your hands, right? That your neck isn't doing all the work for you, okay? So really try to work on doing that. So the next one, we're gonna pull the ball all the way in and then stretch all the way out, like that, okay? Do 1 more like that. So nod the chin, come in for your ab prep. I'm actually staying neutral with my pelvis, so I'm not tucking under, okay? And then I'm stretching my legs all the way up, okay? We're gonna add some pulses with that. So I'm gonna inhale here. Exhale, flex all the way up, pull that ball in. I'm gonna release a little bit, my upper body and my legs, and I'm gonna pulse 3 times here. So I'm gonna come in for 3, 2, 1, and then stretch my legs all the way out. I'm already feeling that. All right, hopefully you are too. Inhale, exhale, come in. Inhale, release a little bit. Exhale, pulse 3. I'm really trying to focus here on my abs, right? Not on my neck, not on necessarily coming up, but that ab connection. And again, and exhale all the way in. Inhale, release a little. Exhale, pulse 3. Trying to decrease the space here and stretch it all the way out. Let's do 2 more like that. So I'm nodding the chin. I'm coming up for that ab prep, pulling my legs in, releasing a little bit as I inhale, and then exhale for 3 pulses. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. And I'm stretching all the way out. You feel it? 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, I'm nodding the chin. Pull that ball in, release a little, and pulse. 3, 2, and 1, and stretch it all the way out. Woo! Hopefully you felt that. I sure did. All right, so let's grab that ball. We're gonna sit up. We're gonna go onto our hands and knees, okay? This is gonna be a tough one. So hopefully this ball is gonna be small enough for you. I think you have an orange ball, right, Jen? That might be a little bit too big for this next one, but try it out. You might be able to do it. If you can't use the ball, don't use the ball, okay? Just do the same thing without it. So we're gonna take the ball and put it between the knee, like so, okay? So I've got my right leg is gonna be holding that ball just like so, okay? So super important here, as always, that we're in this neutral position. And in the warm-up, I've talked about how when you're lying down on the mat, when your back is totally supported, you don't need to like brace your spine. You just need to give it a little bit of stability. Here, you need to engage your abs more. So you have to really work, right? Hopefully you notice that, to make sure your spine stays neutral, okay? So here we're just gonna start with taking that ball back, right? Lifting the knee up and extending that hip, okay? So I'm just trying to find neutral with my hip here. Also want to make sure that with my left hip, I'm not sinking to the left side. So I'm not sinking over like that. I'm keeping my knee and my hip in line with each other here. And then I'm going to bend that knee, bring it in. I'm not putting it all the way down. And then I'm going to take it up again, okay? Inhale, I'm bending my knee in. Exhale, I take it out. Okay, let's do 2 more like that. So we're going to do 5. So we have exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, and last one here. Exhale, lift, and inhale and lower down, okay? So staying right here, we're gonna keep that ball connected, right? Those hamstrings hopefully are firing for you. We're gonna take that into abduction. So it's just lifting the knee out to the side, right? So the knee and the foot is gonna stay in line with each other, okay? And we're just reaching that knee out to the side for 5. So we're already on 3, right? I'm gonna do 2 more. Exhale. So I'm trying not to twist my pelvis, not to lean into that left side. Last one here. Whew. All right. So our last part of this exercise is external rotation. So I'm gonna take that leg up and try to find a neutral line with my hip. So I'm looking for my knee, my hip, and my rib cage to be in one horizontal line with each other, okay? Without arching my back, okay? So, but if you can't do that, make sure you just lower your leg a little bit, all right? That's our goal eventually. So here I'm gonna turn my knee out to the side, and then I'm gonna bring my knee back to facing down, okay? So I'm doing that, and I'm not trying to turn my hip. It's just happening at my leg, right? So my pelvis isn't twisting, just my hip, right? Just my thigh bone. And we're doing 5. So I think we have 1 more here, out to the side and then down. Woo. All right, let's switch legs. Hopefully you felt that, okay? So that's our first set. We're gonna do a second set after we do the left leg. And we're gonna do that. It's gonna be a little bit more challenging. So you could always know that you can come back to that first progression if you need to, okay? So coming down, we have that left leg. I'm gonna actually switch sides here. So hands and knees here, right? You wanna make sure you're not hyperextending those elbow joints, but that your elbows are straight, okay? We don't wanna be like down here like that. Okay, head and neck is following the line of the spine. And we're just gonna start with exhaling and reaching that left leg into neutral. So this is a neutral position for my hip joint. This is flexion, and extension would be here, okay? So just reaching one long line, trying not to extend my spine. Gonna inhale, bring that knee down, and exhale, lift, okay? And again, so 3 more like that. Inhale, bend that knee, exhale, lift up, and again, right? So actually thinking of imprinting your spine as you're lifting your leg up can really help with that, okay? Bringing it down, holding right here. So the challenge is not to let your spine move, right? So you can think, you can imprint here if you need to a little bit. See how I did that? There's my neutral, there's my imprint, okay? I'm gonna take that leg out to the side and then bring it in. So that imprint is just giving me a little bit more stability, okay? And I'm gonna do 3 more like that. So abduction here, and 2 more. Trying to stay balanced, keeping my weight even on my arms. And last one, just making sure I'm not leaning into that right hip. All right, so here I'm gonna inhale, exhale, bring that back leg into neutral. There it is, and I'm gonna externally rotate. So I'm gonna turn my knee out to the side and then bring my knee back down, pointing towards the floor. And again, turn it out, bring it down. 3 more, and out, and then down, and 2 more. So I'm feeling muscles surrounding my hips, right? Create this. And last one here. Okay, and I'm gonna bring that in. All right, so let's shake that out a little bit. Shake, shake, shake. Good, lots of time. Okay, so this next one, we're combining those same 3 exercises with a leg pull front. Okay, so it's gonna be a lot more challenging. Go at your own pace. If you can't stay up the whole time, that's okay. So going back on the right knee, okay, that's where the ball's going. You're gonna curl your toes, actually curl both toes under for right now, if you can. We're gonna come up into that position. See how both of my knees are lifted? Yeah, and then you're gonna lift your right foot, and we're gonna lift up and then come down. We're just gonna do 3 of each. This is so much harder, right? And 1 more here, come down, all the way down. Woo! Take a mini break, okay? So we're gonna do abduction, okay, with that same position. So here we go for 3 though. We're gonna inhale, Exhale, coming up to that hover with the knees. And here we go, pointing that toe out to the side, and then we bring it back. And 2 more. Reach, really pulling in with those abs. Just 3, coming in and then down. Woo, it's hard, right? Just overall hard. Now we're gonna do that external rotation, okay? I think this is gonna be the most challenging. So here we go. Take an inhale. Exhale, come up, lift that foot up right away. Take that leg up into extension and turn that knee out for 3 and 2. Just 1 more. Woo! And bring it in and down. Holy cow. Okay, so hopefully really feeling those quads, right? On the leg that's lifted. Okay, so we're just adding a whole bunch of coordination, balance work, glutes, quads, we got it all going on here, okay? So with that ball between the knees, we're just gonna try that heel squeeze. And then we're gonna lift those knees up. Here we go. Knees lifting, yeah, and coming down. So it might feel easier on one side versus the other, it's pretty normal. So we're gonna lift up here, and then lift, yep, that left toe up off the mat, and we're gonna reach into extension and then come down, okay? And we're gonna do just 2 more like that. 1, inhale, exhale, 2, and we bring it down, okay? So if you're having a hard time with that, you can do the same thing with your knee down, okay? Don't feel like you have to come up. So here we go. We're gonna come up again, and we're gonna do the abduction. So coming up, hold, inhale, exhale, and here we go. Out to the side and then back, just hovering with that knee. Side, and 1 last time. Reaching and coming down, okay? So let's do that last one, external rotation here. So inhale, exhale, hovering with both knees, lifting that leg into neutral, and then turn out, and then bring it in. And 2 more. Not doing a whole lot of reps here, thank goodness. And come in, and then down. Woo! Holy cow. Feels good, right? Okay. Let's take that ball. We're gonna go into supine position. Ball's gonna go underneath both feet here. Okay, I'm gonna scoot down on the mat a little bit more. We're gonna do our roll-ups. So reaching the arms overhead, all right? So what's nice about using the ball here is that as we reach up, we can just glide the ball in and give ourselves a little bit of a knee bend, okay? So it flows kind of nicely. So inhale, bend your knees just a little bit, reach your hands towards the ceiling. Exhale, I'm gonna nod my chin, rolling through that imprint, and then I'm gonna stretch my legs out here as I reach, okay? Getting a nice stretch through my spine. So I'm gonna inhale, bend my knees here, exhale, and roll all the way back. Okay, and inhaling and reaching. Exhale, I nod my chin, bend my knees in, and then we stretch out. So unfortunately, this is one of the exercises that we shouldn't do if we have osteoporosis, okay? This is really actually, it's a lot of work in flexion, okay? And it's actually a contraindication for that, so remember that. Hopefully we're not dealing with that or don't have to. And we reach. But if you do have questions about that, you can email me because I can tell you, give you some modifications, okay? So inhale, your hands reach. Exhale, nod the chin, bend the knees as we roll up. Hopefully that feels good though. I think this feels super good. Inhale, bend the knees. It just makes that flow really nice. Let's do 2 more, and we reach the arms, nod the chin, and roll up, and reach here. So I'm not collapsing though here, right? I'm just reaching, creating a really nice long C curve. We're gonna do 1 more. Inhale, the arms reach. I nod the chin, I'm allowing myself to protract and elevate, right? I'm reaching, and the knees, and then roll down. Woo! Arms come to the side. Okay. So fun. I'm gonna do a little side lying. Okay, so with that side lying, we're gonna do some fun stuff today with it. But we're gonna start with just placing the ball underneath the rib cage to start. We're gonna do a little bit of breathing, okay? With this, so this is a really great way to feel your muscles between your rib cage kind of relaxing with your breath, okay? Like we talk about that rib cage breathing, this is a good way to give it a lot of feedback so that you really feel your fascia and your muscles open up with that breath. So what's important with doing that though is you actually want to put your weight on the ball. So I'm turning my hand out to the side and I'm going to support my head like so. Okay, but I have my weight kind of pressing onto the ball here. Okay, I'm going to just reach my hand out to the side. I'm just going to do a few breaths here before we start. So I'm going to inhale here. I feel myself pushing into that ball, and I'm going to exhale. I'm going to try to let myself sink into the ball a little bit deeper. And then I'm going to inhale. I'm going to feel how my rib cage kind of spreads across the ball, and then exhaling. Feel myself sink a little bit more, and just one more breath like that. Big inhale and exhaling here. Cool. This is also great if you have some tightness on your lateral line of your body. Okay, I know some of you do. So I'm just going to come back up to that forearm position here, and I'm going to reach my leg out right into a long line here. So I want to make sure that when I'm looking down that my hip isn't flexed, my leg isn't forward or back. Okay, it's just straight out from my hip joint, and my pelvis is in a neutral position. So is my spine. So if you were to be up at my ceiling looking down at me, you would see my natural curves of my spine are still present there, okay? My hip bone here and my pubic bone and this hip bone, they're in the same plane, a vertical plane, okay? So it's the same as when you're lying on your mat in supine here, okay? I'm gonna bring my hand right here at the side. We're gonna start with a kick. So I'm going to dorsiflex my foot and kick forward for 2. And then I'm going to inhale and bring it back into extension. So here I'm making sure I'm not leaning my hip this way. Okay, I'm just keeping that vertical placement with those bony parts. Okay, and again, I'm going to kick, right? So this is not changing. And then I reach back again. So these hips are in a vertical line with each other. Same with the pubic bone. And again, kick, kick, and then back. And that's the challenge with this exercise, right? Because we want to isolate the movement right here at the hip. We don't want to be moving through this area here. 1, 2, and then back. Let's do 2 more like that for a total of 8. And then back, and 1 more. And 1, 2, I'm kicking double pulse, and exhaling to reach away. I'm just going to reach that leg straight out. We're going to do some leg circles. So I'm just going to lift up a little bit higher. I'm going to circle down and around, okay? And I'm going to do 4 more like that. So we're just going to do 5 in each direction. Hopefully you're feeling your hip muscles warm up a little bit. And last one here. And hold. Also here, my knee is pointing forward, right? I'm not turning my knee up towards the ceiling. So we're not in lateral, we're in parallel. Now I'm going to go back, down, up, and around. Okay, so if you're getting a really huge leg range of motion here with that leg, you're probably not in parallel, you're probably in lateral. Okay, so make sure that knee's pointing forward. We have 1 more here. And hold right here. All right, now we're gonna have some fun. So bring that leg down. We're gonna take the ball, put it between your ankles, right? And I'm still lifting up here, so I'm pushing my body away. I'm not collapsing like that, right? It's actually harder to stabilize when your whole body's not engaged. So we're just going to start with lifting the legs up and then lowering just for 3. That's just a practice. Exhale, lift. You're not going to get a whole lot of range here. And exhale, lift. And you're going to hold right here. Okay, so now for fun, you got to bring this arm up. You're going to bend both knees in and then stretch your legs out. All right, we're going to do 5 like that. And bend and pull in and stretch those legs away. You can keep your hands here in front if that helps, okay? And 2 more like that. Bend in and stretch out. Last one here. Bend in, so I'm still not letting myself collapse here, okay? So, and then bring those legs down. All right, so the next one is gonna be kind of tricky. Okay, so we're progressing with each one. Okay, so if this starts to get challenging, just go back to the last progression. Okay, so we're gonna add some rotation this time. So you're gonna bend your knees in, yeah, squeezing into that ball. I'm gonna turn onto my pelvis, right? So I'm only on my left side here. I'm still lifted up through my right. I'm gonna come back down, stretch the legs out, okay? That's a progression. Bend the knees in, turn, come back, stretch out. One more. Bend the knees in, turn. So adding a little bit of obliques. Back and stretch out. Okay, now we're gonna add a leg extension. So we're gonna bend the knees in. As we turn, we're gonna extend those legs and reach. I'm still only on the left side of my pelvis. My arm is reaching. And then I'm gonna bend my knees in, come back, stretch my legs out. Okay, bend the knees in, turn onto the pelvis, yeah, and then extend, reach. I'm not collapsing here, right? Bend the knees in, come back and stretch those legs out. Last one like that. Knees bend in, turn, extend and reach, bend the knee, bring it in and extend, all right? Yeah, that was our little choreography session there. Let's do the other side. So we're gonna start with some breathing, putting the ball underneath the rib cage here. Both knees can be bent, right? And I'm just gonna allow myself to kind of be resting on the ball here, okay? I'm supporting my head in my hands. And I'm gonna inhale. And I'm gonna exhale. I'm gonna feel my rib cage just kind of wrap around that ball. And I'm gonna inhale. I feel like I'm pressing away from the ball slightly. And then exhale, just relaxing into that ball. And again, one big inhale. Hopefully that feels good. And then exhale. It's kind of like a mini break, right? It's a great way if you're into meditating or anything like that to really get into your breath, okay? So I'm coming up onto my forearm here. I'm using that ball to support me a little bit. So I'm gonna bring it down a little bit more towards my hip, making sure that my body is in that one long line. I'm gonna stretch that top leg out, just like that, okay? So my hip and my toe are in line with each other. I'm not forward with that toe, right? And also neutral through this area. Okay, so my hip bones, if I look down, they're in a vertical line with my pubic bone, all in the same plane. That's the goal, okay, is to keep that like that. So we're gonna kick forward, flex your foot, 1, 2, and then exhale to bring it back. Hand can be in front here if you want. Kick 1, 2, and then exhale back into extension. So I'm not changing this. Again, 1, 2, that tells me my pelvis is staying neutral, okay? So you may not have a huge range of motion, that's okay, all right? As long as you're maintaining the integrity of the exercise, which is maintaining your pelvis and spine in neutral, as you're flexing and extending this hip. That's it. And kick, kick, and then we bring it back, all right? Let's do 2 more, right? You wanna make sure you're not dropping that foot down either, okay? Otherwise you lose connection with the side of your hip joint. 1 more. Kick, kick, and then we sweep it back. Awesome. Let's just reach that leg in one long line. We're going to do our circles here. Still pushing away with my body. I'm going to circle forward and then back and around. Woo. And again, so still the same intention where I don't want to be moving my pelvis, right? We're just doing 5 in each direction. My knees pointing forward, so my leg is in parallel here, and hold right here, and we reverse. So back, down, and around. Woo. Back, down, and around. Are you feeling this? Hopefully. Down and around. And 1 more. Back, down, up and around. Yay. Woo. All right, so we're going to take the ball, put it between the feet. Now it's time for some fun, right? Pushing away here, so I'm not collapsing down. I'm feeling nice and strong through my shoulder girdle, right? It's a lot of work through that. So I'm gonna start with just lifting both legs up here. My legs are in parallel too, right? And again, and I'm lifting. I'm not lifting up a whole lot here. And 1 more, I'm gonna lift and hold. Now I'm gonna bend and pull my knees in. and then stretch out, okay? And I'm gonna bend and pull them in. I'm trying to stay neutral here with my pelvis, and then press away. I'm doing a little bit of lateral flexion here for sure. We're gonna do 2 more like that. Bend and pull it in. So you gotta have that bottom leg lifted in order to get this moving, right? There's 5. All right, take a mini break. Okay, so this next one, we're gonna add that rotation, okay? Just for 3, because we're gonna keep the knees bent with this one. All right, so here we are. So we're gonna bend, and then just leaning over or rotating over onto that right hip, then coming back to the side and then stretching out, okay? I'm gonna shimmy forward a little bit so I don't end up on my hard floor, okay? So bend the knees in and coming back onto the pelvis. I'm still pushing into my forearm here, right here, and lifting away. I come back to center and then I reach, okay? And again, bend my knees. Whatever's comfortable with that other arm, you do that. Come back to center and then reach, okay? So if you wanna come with me for that leg extension, we're gonna do that right now, okay? This time we're gonna add some arms. So we're gonna bend the knees in first, lean over onto that right hip, extend arms and legs here, bend the knees, come back, and then stretch those legs out, okay? So here we go, we're gonna bend those knees in, rotate, twist, whatever you wanna call it, onto that right hip, extend and reach, bend the knees, come in, extend those legs, let's do 1 more, and bend in here, and twist, extend, bend, come back, and reach, and done with that. Hopefully overall hard with those, right? All right, so we're gonna do some ab preps here on the ball. So we're gonna do full mobilization of the thoracic spine in extension, flexion, and just to help us find that neutral. So that ball's gonna go right on the thoracic. So if you're too far up here, you're not really gonna get movement in your thoracic, it's gonna be in your neck, okay? So that ball needs to be pretty close to your lumbar, okay? So if it's super easy for you too, you can bring that ball all the way. So the closer that ball is towards your tailbone, the harder it is, okay? The more you have to stabilize and find neutral, okay? So note that you may have to play around for placement of that ball, okay? So I'm starting here, my legs are hip width apart, and I'm gonna find my neutral position through my lower spine. So making sure that I've got that plane of motion here, and that I have my natural curve in my lumbar, okay? So if that feels not stable for you, you can work an imprint, okay? Definitely will give you more support. Hands are behind the head here, and then we're gonna find that neutral position. So my head, right, my neck, looking for that alignment here with my rib cage, and my abs are super tight, okay? So I'm gonna start just with that ab prep. I need to shimmy over because I'm not centered on my ball. So here's my neutral, and I'm gonna exhale, just flex my spine right here. Inhale, just come back, find that neutral position. Remember this exercise? I come all the way to neutral with my head and neck too. And exhaling. Inhale, I come back to neutral here. Okay, and again, exhale. Inhale, I come back to neutral. So I've got that slight head nod, and then I'm just flexing my spine. Okay, I'm thinking of bringing my rib cage towards my pelvis. Let's do 2 more. Woo! And last one, do you feel this? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get an answer, right? So take a break. I like to kind of hold on to my leg here. That helps me. So if you're feeling anything in your lower back, you probably need to come down onto the ball a little bit more and give yourself a little bit more of an imprint, okay? That will help. So I'm feeling quite challenged with that ball pretty low down, more lumbar and thoracic. Okay, so we're gonna go into extension here. Okay, so be careful. We need lots of support for the abs here. We're gonna find that neutral position first. Here it is for me, okay? And I'm gonna inhale and go back into extension. I'm not extending my lumbar though. And then I'm gonna exhale, just find that neutral, okay? So this is kind of like a reverse crunch. So inhale, it's hard. and exhale just to neutral, right? Let's do 3 more. Inhale and exhale just back to neutral, and 2 more like that. Inhaling and exhaling. I'm really feeling my abs here. Supporting my head with my hands, and last one. Woo! Whoa. Fun times, right? Okay, so the next one we're gonna do is full range of motion. So we're gonna go all the way into extension and then come all the way back up into flexion, okay? But we wanna really acknowledge when we hit that neutral. Okay, so we wanna be thinking about that. You ready? All right, so let's do 5, okay? And then if we feel we need to do more, then we'll reevaluate and maybe do another set, okay? Before we do our obliques. So hands are back here. Let's find that neutral position first. So that's there for me. I'm going to inhale, go back into extension, and then exhale, hit that neutral, and then flex up. And then I inhale, come back to neutral. I'm gonna use an exhale here because I want more support for that extension. Inhale here, exhale, flex. Woo! And coming down. Whoa, that was 2. We need 3 more. I think 5 is going to be enough. What do you think? Come back to neutral and back down. Woo! And again. Remember, you want to work in a pain-free range of motion. Last one. And neutral, flex, back to neutral, and done. Holy cow, holy abs. That one just doesn't seem to get easier, honestly. Okay, so with our last one, we're gonna put the ball up a little bit higher and we're gonna add some rotation to that, okay? So that ball's gonna come back, bringing it just right at my thoracic here. So my lumbar is nothing's touching here on the mat, see that? Just my sacrum, okay? I'm gonna give myself a little bit of an imprint, okay? Hands are gonna be behind the head here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna twist towards my right, like so. Okay, and I'm doing actual rotation. I'm not doing a side bend, okay? So if I look down here, I see that my sternum, my belly button, and my pubic bone, they're all in the same line, okay? And that tells me I'm doing true rotation. And then I'm gonna rotate back to that center line. I'm gonna do that again. So you may not have a whole lot of rotation, that's okay. We only really have 30 degrees of rotation in our thoracic spine. That's it, right? We have more there, we should, than the lumbar. That's what's normal. That's what we're aiming for. And last one here. Woo, really feeling my obliques there, okay? Take a mini break. We're gonna do the other side, okay? So hip distance apart is good here with the legs. I'm imprinting slightly, hands behind the head, and I'm in flexion. I'm gonna exhale and I'm gonna twist. And I'm gonna look down, make sure I'm in that long line, vertical line, and then I'm gonna come back to center. And again, and I'm gonna twist and then come back to center. And we're gonna do 3 more. Exhale and we twist. Yep, and again, so I got the internal, external obliques working. We've got some muscles on the back working. Last one here, woo! Done that. Holy cow. I think we need to take this into the prone position to stretch out those abs. What do you think? Let's do that, okay? So flipping over here, and I'm gonna take my right hand, I'm gonna put the ball underneath it right here like so. I'm gonna reach this other hand up. And I'm just going into one long line. My toes are pointing towards the corners of the mat here. What I'm gonna do is just roll up, just like so, and then exhale and come down. So nothing's really happening with this arm so much, so you can bend it in. So we're gonna roll up here, pulling that ball in towards you, and then coming down. Giving yourself a little bit of support with that left arm, coming up, and feel how your abs are lengthening. Hopefully that feels good. And then coming down. Still, we don't want any wrinkles in the back of the neck. And again, and inhale, and then exhaling here. Now we're gonna add some rotation to that, okay? So we're gonna pull up into extension, then we're just gonna twist. So pull the ball in towards you a little bit more and look towards your side, then come back to center and then down. Do one more like that. You come up into extension, turn, twist. So your eyes have to come with you in order to get that happening. You probably don't have a whole lot of rotation, right? That's pretty normal. So other arm. So hand is on top of the ball. I'm just gonna bend my elbow here, put my hand right down. Looking down at my hand to start, we're just gonna take it into that extended position, okay? So I'm not rotating yet, and then coming all the way down. My feet are staying down, and I'm reaching and lengthening, feeling my abs stretch out here. My whole anterior line is stretching, it feels good. And again, and up. So I'm pressing down into that ball. I'm sliding my shoulders down and back with this. And again, and one more, and up. And then come down. We're gonna add that rotation. So exhale, up. Then I'm gonna pull that ball in towards me and I'm gonna twist, right? Then I come back to center and then down. So I'm adding extension and rotation. So exhale to come up first. Inhale, I'm twisting. I'm pushing into this arm too to help me. My head's coming with me, you see? Then I come down. Let's just do one more like that. And inhale. And then we reach and twist, look over that right shoulder. And we come back to center and then down. Woo. All right, so let's roll over onto the side here. And then come all the way up. We're gonna do a little bit of a stretch here, okay? So spine stretch. And then also a glute stretch, okay? Because we did work those glutes quite a bit today. So here we go. So we're gonna inhale here, prepare. Exhale, just nodding the chin and flexing the spine. Hold, inhale, and exhale, and lengthen and stack back up again. So good to move the body, right? Inhale, exhale, and we flex the spine here. Hold, inhale, and exhale, and we bring it up. Let's do some lateral flexion here. So we're gonna take the ball, put it over onto the other side. I'm gonna inhale, reach this arm up, and exhale, and just flex the spine to the side, pressing down into the ball here. I'm gonna inhale, lengthen up, and exhale, this arm comes down. I'm gonna do that one more time, just like our mermaid, right? Inhale, exhale, and we flex. I'm really pressing this hip down, so I'm not letting it come up with me here, right? And then inhale and exhale. This arm comes down. We do the other side here. So I'm stabilizing my shoulder here. I'm not doing a lot of movement, just lifting that arm up. And then I'm going over to that side bend position, pressing down with this ball. And then inhale, I come up, and exhale, this arm comes down. I'm trying to get my head and my neck to come with me into that side bend. I have a pretty flat cervical spine, so I really have to work on that. Up and then down. All right, so let's go into that figure four stretch here, the seated one. I find, let's push that ball out to the side. That's one of the most effective ones for me anyway. So we're gonna cross over, right? You see this position here? So my ankle is in line with my right knee, my left knee, yeah. And I'm gonna twist towards my right. I'm gonna pull that leg in towards me. Okay, so they do this in yoga, definitely. They kind of turn and do it a little bit differently, but it's kind of the same idea. We want to drop this hip down, pull the knee in, and that's going to stretch the fibers here of your outer hip, okay? And looking back is going to give you some good rotation through your thoracic. All right, so super important. Big inhale. And exhale. And let's unwind that. Let's switch that out. So hopefully you're gonna have a great day today. Looks really nice out here in Oceanside. I don't know about Vegas. It's probably hot, right? So dropping that hip down, right? Pulling that leg in towards you and twisting, making sure here too that your shoulders aren't like, or squeezing them down. We just want them relaxed. And I'm dropping that hip down, really working on that. I don't know about you, but I've been feeling so tight over the last few months. It's been that long. Even though we're still exercising and doing stuff, it's just, when things are different, it really, your body really feels it. Woo, that feels good. And that's it. Have yourself a great day. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm happy to talk Pilates or anything. Also been posting some stuff on the YouTube site. So we've got a hip mobility exercise. It's about 30 minutes. It's really good to help keep the hips balanced. So you can try that out if you want one of these days. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me.